जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय राधा कालचंजी राधा कालचंजी राधा कालचंजी राधे राधे। जय राधा कालचंजी राधा कालचंजी राधा कालचंजी राधे राधे। हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोदरक्ष श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रीला भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत गोस्वामी महाराज श्रीला प्रभुपाद की। इस्कॉन विविध संस्थापक आचार्य श्रीला प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोदरक्ष श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रीला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की। गंगा माई की। जमुना माई की। भक्ति देवी की। कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदायिनी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। श्रीला प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार Shrivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for this evening's session on teachings from Gaura Lila, lessons from Gaura Lila. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, and the first chapter. Yasya prasadat agyopi sadya sadya sarvagyatam bhavet. Sri Sat Sri Chaitanya Devo me Bhagavan Samprasidatu. Kaviraj Goswami in every chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with an invocation shloka. Out of humility, he prays to the Lord that by his grace, by his divine grace, yasya prasadat, agyopi, even one who is less intelligent, ignorant, sadya sarvagyatam bhavet, instantly becomes all-knowing. Sa Sri Chaitanya Devo me, may that Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhagavan Samprasidatu, may he be pleased upon me. So, by prayers of humility, Lord's mercy is invoked. Lord Nityananda, he glorifies Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and invokes all the conditioned soul to chant Lord Chaitanya's name. Chaitanya Seva, Chaitanya Gaula, Chaitanya Nam, Chaitanya Je Bhakti Kore Sei Mora Pran. So he tells everybody, you chant Lord Chaitanya's name. Engage in Lord Chaitanya's Seva. And one who performs the bhakti as given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is most dear to me. He is my life and soul. Sahajai Nityananda Krishna Premodam Prabhuragyaya Koila Jaha Taha Premadan. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu is naturally very merciful because he is always overwhelmed with ecstasy of love. Sohajai Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu is Krishna Prema Uddama. Uddama means maddened. One who is always mad in the ecstasy and the intoxication of Krishna Prema. So one may assume that when someone is in intoxicated state, in a maddened state, they cannot be disciplined and they will act whimsical. So madness and whimsical behavior go together. So here Lord Nityananda is intoxicated by Krishna Prema. But still here he is saying that although he is in intoxicated, maddened state, but he is not whimsical. Prabhur Agyay Koila Yaha Taha Premadan. He is only acting on the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu And only when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs him, then only he starts preaching the glories of Krishna after 20 years. So therefore, two things are described by Kaviraj Goswami, which is preaching means glorification of Krishna, not self-glorification. And second, preaching means one must spread the glories of Krishna under the instructions of the devotees. So His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, in 1922 at Ultadanga Junction Lane met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada gave him instruction. You spread this message in the English language in the West. It was an instruction Srila Prabhupada received. Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada departed. And nobody knew how this is going to happen. But Srila Prabhupada, when he was staying at his residence in Sitakant Banerjee Lane in Kolkata, the first floor of the house he had given out as rent to the Gaudiya Math devotees. And one of Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers, who was also a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, whose name was Dol Govinda Shastri, he was teaching Hari Namamrita Vyakaran to the Gaudiya Math brahmacharis. So our Srila Prabhupada was sitting on the stairs between the ground floor and the first floor chanting japa. And Dol Govinda Shastri came out and sat next to Srila Prabhupada. And he said, I just spoke to the brahmacharis on a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prithvite ache jata nagaradigram sarvatra prachara hoibe moranam. In every town and village, the holy name will spread. I spoke it, but I don't know how it will happen. Will it ever happen? How will it happen? Who will make it happen? So Srila Prabhupada was sitting. He was a grihastha at that time, known as Abhay Charan Day. So Abhay Babu, he got up, took 2 steps down, and turned around and pointing towards Srila Dol Govinda Shastri, he said, if Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made that prediction, it must happen. He had that conviction. Then Abhay Babu took 2 steps down further, turned, and pointing to Srila Dol Govinda Shastri, he said, someday a fool who is surrendered at the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur will make it happen. And then Abhay Babu took 2 steps down further. In that period, Dol Govinda Shastri, who was also disciple of Saraswati Thakur, started thinking, will that be me? And Prabhupada turned around and pointing to Dol Govinda Shastri, he said, it will not be you. And Dol Govinda Shastri started thinking, what does Abhay Babu think? He is going to do it? How is he going to do it? What does he think he is? He is a grihastha, always thinking about business and money. How can it happen? So he had all these doubts. But Srila Prabhupada, empowered by the instructions of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, he came to the West and made it happen. So, when the instructions are there, automatically the potency also manifests. So when Prabhupada came and started preaching, one of his disciples who first joined him was Brahmananda Prabhu. And when he joined, his mother became worried and she sent the other brother to get him back. He came and met Prabhupada, and he was so inspired, he also joined. His name became Gargamuni. So the mother came to get both the boys, and she met Prabhupada and said, "You have taken both my sons." Prabhupada said, "They did not have place to stay. I gave them a place. They did not have food to eat. I am cooking for them and feeding them. They did not have proper clothes. I have given them such nice saffron clothes. I am doing so much seva for them. You should give me a donation." So the mother got bewildered. She looked at Prabhupada and said, "I have already donated my sons." Prabhupada said, "Thank you very much." So Prabhupada came to India and he established Krishna consciousness with very young people. Nobody imagined they could establish a movement across the world. And Prabhupada was in Jaipur, and there were these two young, girls who were hardly 20-year-old disciples of Prabhupada, and they established a fantastic Pandal program, and Prabhupada was very proud of them. And after the event, they were talking, and Prabhupada was introducing these girls to all the local people who were assembled there, and Prabhupada said, "Just see how dedicated they are. What a wonderful Pandal program has been organized." And one very wealthy person from Jaipur, he spoke up. He said, "Swamiji, the disciple, they know Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But philosophy, they don't know. Philosophy." They were always trying to find some fault. Prabhupada said, "What do you mean? They don't know philosophy?" This girl, and Kaushalya Devi was there, and Prabhupada said, "She knows all the Upanishads." And before even she could speak, Prabhupada told her, "Recite all the Upanishads." And she knew only 5 shlokas of Ishopanishad, which Prabhupada had published. Only 5 verses. Before giving chance, Prabhupada asked her to speak. So she started chanting the first verse, second verse. When she came to the 4th verse, her heart was beating. That beyond 5th verse, I will not be able to protect Prabhupada's dignity, because he has declared that I know all the Upanishads, and all these other people will make fun of me and make fun of Prabhupada. She was in anxiety, her heart was beating. She finished the 5th verse, and Prabhupada said, "Bus, that means you know everything." And then another gentleman, he spoke up. "But Swamiji, her Sanskrit pronunciation not good." Prabhupada said, "Her renunciation very good." She is coming all the way to dedicate her life for spreading Krishna consciousness. What are you doing? So therefore, here, this verse describes Prabhu Agya Koila Yaha Taha Prema Dan. Under the instructions of the Lord and the devotees, the message can spread with potency. Prabhuragyaya Koila Saba Shastrera Vichar Brajera Niguda Bhakti Korila Prachar. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gave orders to the 6 Goswamis, Rup, Sanatan and others. Prabhur Agyaya Kaila, on the order of Lord Chaitanya, Rup and Sanatan engaged in first Shastrera Vichar. And when they engaged in the discussion of the Shastra, study of the Shastra, Brajera Niguda Bhakti Korila Prachar, then they could expand the Braja Bhakti in front of the whole world. Kale na Brindavana Kelivarta Luptiti Tvam Kyapayatum Vishishya Kripamritena Bhishishescha Devas Totraiva Rupam Cha Sanatanam Cha. In due course of time, the glories of Braja Bhakti was lost. And at that time, Lord Chaitanya empowered Srila Rupa Goswami to bring out the essence of Braja Bhakti in front of the whole world. And he did that. And therefore, Rupa and Sanatan were engaged in this activity of spreading the glories of Braja Bhakti. So, three principles are described here, which is that Vrindavan can only be understood by three steps. The step one in entering into Vrindavan is Shishtachar. Shishtachar means we have to follow the instruction. We have to be submissive. And therefore, submissive following of instructions is the first principle. When there is Shishtachar, then based on that Shishtachar, there should be Shastra Vichar, study of the literatures. When there is Shishtachar and Shastra Vichar, then there can be Prachar, which is spreading of the glories of the Lord. So therefore, the Prachar can only happen when there is Shastra Vichar. Shastra Vichar can only be potent when there is Shishtachar. So without the Shishtachar, without the proper discipline, it is not possible to establish the glories of Brajbhumi, Vrindavan, and enter into those pastimes artificially. Yah sarvalaukaika manobhirochya saubhagya bhukachita krishtapachya yatrayamaro panatulya kala sa prema shakhi phalavan atulya. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was very famous for his austerities. But the foundation of his austerity was his submission to the Vaishnavas in Jagannath Puri. And because of his submissive, sweet, gentle nature, Yaha sarva laukaika manobhiruchya, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami attracted the hearts of all the Vaishnavas in Puri, who blessed him profusely. Saubhagya bhukachit akrishtapachya. And because of that, those rains of grace and mercy given by the Vaishnavas, which irrigated the heart of Raghunath Das, his heart became very fertile, fortunate, saubhagya bhu, and therefore akrishtapachya, it did not require any tilling. It was so fertile, so ripe. Yatrayam aropanatulya kala. And at that moment, when the seed was put there, immediately the seed of bhakti sprouted into a beautiful tree and gave fruits of prema, of pure love. Sa prema shakhi phalavan atulya. And therefore, automatically on the basis of this principle, everything manifested, and Raghunath Das was able to transform the hearts of millions of souls. So therefore, the underlying principle is we need to be submissive. And when we are submissive, we get insight into Shastra. We understand the essence of the Shastra. And when we understand the essence of the Shastra, we are empowered to spread the Sankirtan mission. Shyam Sundar Prabhu tells this story that they were not feeling qualified to assist Srila Prabhupada, but Prabhupada wanted them to assist him in India. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu was driving in Kalbadevi market. They were wanting to set up a fantastic event called Cross Maidan Festival. And as Shyam Sundar Prabhu was driving, his car hit somebody in the crowded streets, and that man fell on the ground right in front of the car. He did not get hurt, but he fell down, and as soon as he fell down, a crowd gathered around the car and looked inside. And Shyam Sundar Prabhu thought, the mob is going to beat me up, because he had heard in India when traffic accidents happen, public does all kinds of things. So he took his beads and started chanting. The crowd jumped on the man who was on the ground and started beating him. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu got confused and he started thinking, I made the mistake. Why are they beating him? Then he thought, maybe in India they begin from there and then they are going to come to me. So he was waiting to see what was happening. After they beat him up, the crowd moved aside and told him, go ahead. Drive ahead. So he couldn't resist. He asked one man, I made the mistake. Why did you beat him up? And this man said, you are dressed as a devotee of Krishna with dhoti, kurta, tilak. How dare he disturb Krishna's devotee? So Shyam Sundar Prabhu realized that what a great responsibility it is, that just being dressed as a devotee, people have such high expectations. And so Srila Prabhupada had given them the instructions to assist and serve, and now he was empowering. And without having any previous experience in India, they set up an amazing festival where thousands of people came every single day. And Krishna consciousness spread in India from that point onwards. And therefore, when there is submission, only then there can be empowerment. Now, in the Madhya Lila second chapter, we have the example of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He is age of 90 plus. Right? Nowadays people in their 30s are saying, I am having back pain, headache, this, that, so many things. Imagine at 90 plus, one may think it is a time to retire. And at age of 90 he is given order, you write Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Chaitanya Lila Ratnasar Swarupera Bhandar Teho Thuila Raghuna Tera Kanthe Taha Kichu Je Shunilu Taha Iha Vistarilu Bhakta Gana Dilu Ei Bhete. He's saying, actually, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are like jewels, and they were held by Swarup Damodar Goswami. And Swarup Damodar Goswami handed it over to Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disappearance, was maddened in separation, and he made a sankalpa that I will commit suicide. And he declared to the devotees in Puri, I am ending my life because I cannot stay in separation from Lord Chaitanya. The devotees in Puri said, you are under the orders of Rupa and Sanatan. So if you want to commit suicide, you need their permission and blessings. So you go to Vrindavan, take their blessings and do the needful. So he said, that is important. Protocol. So he came all the way to Vrindavan, searching for Rupa and Sanatan. And Rupa and Sanatan said, what happened? And he said, I have come to go on top of Govardhan, jump from there and end my life. So Rupa and Sanatan said, look, everybody here in Vrindavan had maximum of 3 or 4 months association of Lord Chaitanya. You had association of Lord Chaitanya from 1518 to 1534, 16 years. And in 16 years, interestingly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put Raghunath Das Goswami under Swarup Damodar Goswami. And Lord Chaitanya would not allow Raghunath Das Goswami to speak with him, to speak with Lord Chaitanya directly. After many years, Raghunath Das once expressed to Swarup Damodar Goswami that I am staying for so many years here. I could not have one interaction with Lord Chaitanya. Is it too much to ask for one interaction? I have few questions. And I know you are fully qualified to answer all questions, but I have a burning desire to ask the question directly to Lord Chaitanya. Swarup Damodar Goswami said, okay, no problem, come. And he takes him to Lord Chaitanya and says, my dear Lord. Lord Chaitanya says, what? Raghunath Das has a question. So Lord Chaitanya says, you answer. Swarup Damodar Goswami says, but my dear Lord, he has a burning desire to directly connect with you. Lord Chaitanya says, I have put him under your care. You answer his query. Swarup Damodar Goswami says, my dear Lord, just one interaction. Lord Chaitanya says, okay, one and final. And then in the 6th chapter of the Ante Lila, if you read, few questions he asks. What is the essence of renunciation? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks 10-15 verses. That is the only interaction allowed by Lord Chaitanya for Raghunath Das in 16 years. For your kind information. So you can't now say who was in a better condition. One's in Vrindavan without association, or one in association but not in association. So Raghunath Das was there, he saw everything, and he had the Kadacha of Swarup Damodar Goswami. So therefore, Rupa and Sanatan said, if you are experiencing pain of separation, you can mitigate that pain by narrating Gaur Lila. So you sit on the banks of Radha Kund and speak. So everybody will hear. So that's what Kaviraj Goswami is saying. Taha kichu je shunilu, taha iha vistarilu. Whatever I heard from Das Goswami, that only I am repeating. Bhakta gana dilu ei bhete. I am offering that as gift to the Vaishnava community. Otherwise, I do not have any other desires. Right. So, Chaitanya Lila Ratna Sar. Therefore, these are jewels which I am sharing with all of you towards the end of my life. Shesha Lilar Sutragan Korik Ichu Bibaran Iha Vistarite Chitta Hoye Thake Jadi Ayushesh Vistariba Lila Shesh Jadi Mahaprabhur Kripa Hoye. All of you take something for granted, which is what? Time factor. You take time for granted. You feel you have lot of time. But Kaviraj Goswami says, I am 90 plus. I do not have that luxury. I do not know whether when I close my eyes tonight, I will open my eyes tomorrow or not. So therefore, I am writing all the Antalila pastime in a compressed form at the beginning of Madhyalila itself. In case I depart, at least you should have headlines. Sheshalilar Sutragan Karikichu Vivaran Iha Vistarite Chitta Hoy. I have desire to expand, but Thake Jadi Ayushesh. Only if I live. And therefore, all of us feel one of the major requirements for practicing bhakti is assets. And we feel, I don't have money, I don't have property, I don't have skills, I don't have intelligence, I don't have influence, I don't have contacts, I don't have this, I don't have that. We're always in a complaining mode that I do not have sufficient assets. But devotional service is not dependent on assets. Bhakti is dependent on our attitude, our absorption, our ability to sincerely translate our convictions into actions. Discipline is a fusion of intention with action. And therefore, Kaviraj Goswami is saying that all I know is I have a few moments. Let me use these few moments fully in Krishna's service. So therefore, it's not the assets which are important. It's not how much we have which is important, but how we are able to utilize that in giving to Krishna. One very rich businessman came up to me and he was talking to me and he said, I have so much money, Gauranga Prabhu. I have so much money, it is like water in ocean. But water in ocean is salty. It cannot quench the thirst. No matter how much I earn, I am not feeling satisfied. But I see that you are chanting Hare Krishna, practicing bhakti. You seem to have well water. I want few drops of your well water. I said, take few drops of well water, you give few drops of ocean water. He disappeared for the next 6 months. He didn't manifest only. So some people feel, I will chant when I have lot of time. I will come to temple when I have lot of money. I will start doing seva when my body becomes fully fit. Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I don't have luxury to wait because the order has been given. And whatever limited time, limited energy, limited assets I have, bhakti means to use all our limited assets with unlimited enthusiasm and unlimited hope in whatever way possible right now. Ami briddha jaratur likhite ka payakar मन किच्छु स्मरणे न होए न देखिए नयने न सुनिए श्रवणे तबु लिखी ए बड़ा विस्मय. Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Are, I am old, overwhelmed with old age. Jaratur likhite, as I write, kaapay kar, my hands are trembling. Mana kichhu smarane na hoye, my mind is not able to remember anything. Are, so many verses he has written and he is saying he is not able to remember anything. Actually, we have the problem in Kali Yuga that we can't remember anything. After the lecture, many times I ask people, how was the lecture? Excellent, Prabhu. What do you remember? Excellent. Any points you remember? Are too many points. We used to have this Atma serial we used to shoot, and in 2001, 2002 we shot for Star Plus channel. You know, they used to have a program, Kaun Banega Karodpati. So that was for the evening and morning was Atma. They were kind of balancing. You know, so 7 to 7:45 morning they used to show, 7 to 8. So they shot only 1 year, 2001, 2002. And they replayed it for 8 years. Till 2008 they were showing it. And people would come up to me and say, this year's episode is better than last year. I would tell them, Baba, it is the same thing. They are repeating. They say, no, it is a new episode. I said, I am the one who spoke. And they would say, you speak so many things you don't remember. This is new. So that is Kali Yuga memory. But Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I am at an age of 90 plus where most people would beg for leave of absence, retirement. And I can also say that, oh Vaishnavas, I am the senior most person in Vrindavan, allow me some peaceful retirement. He's saying, no. Still I am writing because it is the instruction which I have received from the devotees. ए अंत लीलासार सूत्र मध्य विस्तार कोरी किच्छु करिलु वर्णन इहा मध्य मोरी जबे वर्णिते न पारितबे ए लीला भक्त गणधन. If I die in the middle of writing this, right, he says that iha madhye mori jabe. While writing this, if I die, varnite na paritabe, I am not able to glorify and explain everything in detail. A Lila, at least this indication, index or summary of Antalila will be the wealth of the Vaishnava community. A Lila Bhakta Gana Dhan. संक्षेपे ए सूत्र कोइला जय इहा ना लिखिला आगे ताहा करिब विस्तार जदि तत दिन जिए महाप्रभुर कृपा होए इच्छा भरी करिब विस्तार. जदि तत दिन जिए, every day, every sunrise I get, जदि तत दिन जिए Mahaprabhu Kripa Hoye. It is only the prasad of Lord Chaitanya. So when we wake up every morning thinking that this day has been given as a grace, as a mercy to me, we would engage in devotional service that day with lot of gratitude. Otherwise, we take every sunrise for granted. At every sunset, we take it for granted that we are going to see the sunrise. Whereas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Jadi tata din jiye, Mahaprabhur kripa hoye, Ichha bhari koriba vistar. Then I will be able to glorify as per my heart's content, as per whatever I want. It is all dependent on the Lord. So therefore, to be always conscious that we are dependent on the Lord's grace. And whatever assets I have, whether it is time, money, family, physical, emotional, mental energy, property, opportunities, whatever facilities we receive, we should never take it for granted. We should know it is the grace of the Lord. And therefore, we have to utilize that moment in the Lord's service by utilizing our choices well. So, that basically is the principle. Like we had a devotee in our medical school, always preaching continuously. I would beg him, you study also, Baba. You are going to be doctor. People's lives are dependent on you. He says, Prabhu, I have full faith in you. I said, my God, what does that mean? He said, I have heard your lecture. You have said, Kaunteya pratajanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee will never perish. I said, that's fine, but you have to make your effort. He says, you don't worry. Yoga kshemam bahamyaham. So he was countering all my things with my shlokas only, which I was quoting from the Bhagavad Gita. So one day before the final exam, he was standing in front of the deities and praying and praying and praying half an hour. I got worried. I came to him and said, "Hey, the whole world is studying. You are standing and praying? What are you praying?" Saying, "I am telling Radha Gopinath ji, whole campus knows that I am the preacher of Hare Krishna. Everybody knows I am the Hare Krishna man. So I am telling Radha Gopinath, the future of Hare Krishna in the campus is in your hands." Because if I don't pass, people will lose faith. You decide which way you want to take this. I said, "My God, you're standing here and negotiating." Next day, the exam happened for the next 10 days. After 3 months, the results came. He passed. So on the day the results came, I went to the college for the program. And usually for my lecture, 7-8 people would come. That was my standard average. For my lecture, 7-8. For prasadam, 50-60 would come. And some boys would also open the door of the program during the lecture, look inside and say, "Hey, not yet finished or what?" They will be upset with me that lecture is not yet over. They would look at me as a hindrance between them and prasad. That day, for the lecture, 40-45 people were sitting there. I was shocked. I asked one of the guys, "Why all of you are sitting?" And they quoted that boy. That fellow was preaching day and night. We never saw him study. He has passed in the exam, which means Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only he passed, he got postgraduate seat also. So then I requested him, "Baba, in undergrad you put too much pressure on Krishna. At least in post-graduation, you study yourself also." He took it sincerely, and in postgraduate, after 2 years, he got gold medal in Mumbai University. So, whatever resources we have at our disposal, if we use in Krishna's service with sincerity and gratitude, then Krishna reciprocates. The biggest killer in bhakti is negativity. Complaining, comparing, criticizing. The 3 cancers of the mind. And therefore, if Kaviraj Goswami was told by the devotees of Vrindavan, write Chaitanya Charitamrita, he could have started complaining, "Arey, what is this? I am 90 plus, you are telling me you don't find anybody else or what? Why this? But he said, "Okay, I will do this because I have been instructed by the devotees." And therefore he says that very beautifully, "Vrindavane kalpadrume suvarna sadan, taharatna singha taharatna simhasan, tatevasi ache sada, brajendra nandan, Shri Govinda Deva Nama Sakshat Madan." In Vrindavan, at the Yoga Pit, there is a beautiful palatial temple of Radha Govinda Dev. And the beautiful deities of Shri Radha Govinda Dev are standing like Cupid personified, attracting all our hearts. And he says that Rajaseva hoye taha vichitra prakar. The lordships are standing there and they are being worshipped in a very opulent way. And millions of devotees are serving them. Sahasra sevaka seva kore anukshan, sahasra vadane seva najaya varnan. With millions of mouths we cannot describe what opulence that seva is happening in Radha Govinda Dev Mandir. And Jai Shishi Radha Kalachanji Bhagwan ki. And I must admit that the way Shishi Radha Kalachanji are worshipped on their altars from morning till night, this is one of the best deity worships I have seen in whole of ISKCON. With lot of devotion and lot of wonderful, artistic taste, and even the way the altar is designed and everything is very unique in the whole of ISKCON. So when Kaviraj Goswami is referring, he is talking about the head priest of Govinda Dev temple. Sevara Adhyaksha Sri Pandit Horidas Yara Yasha Guna Sarve Jagate Prakash. That the Pandit Haridas is the head priest, and that Haridas Pandit had all divine qualities. These are the qualities which devotees should try to inculcate. Sushila Sahishnu Shant Badanya Gambhir Madhura Vachana Madhura Cheshta Mahadhir. Very well behaved, tolerant, very quiet, very magnanimous, grave, Madhur Vachan, very sweet in his speech, Madhur Cheshta, sweet in dealings, Mahadhir, very patient. Sabar Samman Karta Koren Sabar Hit Kautilya Matsarya Himsa न जाने तारा चित. Always respectful to others. Sabar samman karta. Koren sabar hit, always the well-wisher of others. Free from fault finding, Kautilya. Free from envy, Matsarya. Free from tendency to be violent, Kautilya Matsarya Himsa. Na jane tara chit. He did not have any of these qualities. And the best quality of Pandit Haridas was, he was always seeking the good qualities of devotees. Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhay dosh koi mane vakye kore Vaishnava santosh. He would always see the good qualities in devotees. Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhay dosh, and not see fault. With body, mind and words, he was always trying to please the devotees. Every time, all the time. And this Haridas Pandit was the one who gave instruction to Kaviraj Goswami. Teho ati kripa koila, agya koila more, Gaurangera Shesha Lila, Barnibar Tore. That Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur had described only pastimes till sannyas in detail. But post sannyas pastimes had not yet been described. So he gave me instruction to write this. And all the other Vaishnavas also gave me this instruction. And therefore, he says, Vaishnavera agya paya chintita antare madana gopala gela agya magi bare. Kaviraj Goswami says, with this instruction which I received, I go to the temple of Madan Mohan to seek their blessings. So here he says, Vaishnavera agya paya chintita antare. So chintita is a very important word. When we receive instruction, we become chintit. Chintit means we should not think why this instruction was given and feel angry about it. Was I the only one they found or what? Why did they give this instruction to me? No. Chintita means, how can I fulfill this instruction? That is what he was thinking. Chintita antare, how to perform this seva, how I can do this and make it happen. So that's the instruction which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he really wanted his devotees to follow this principle. And with that thought in his mind, he went. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted a temple to be opened in Darjeeling. So he told the devotees, you decide who will stay here. So everybody started discussing with each other and started telling each other, you stay, you stay. Nobody was willing. So Saraswati Thakur said, tomorrow morning, whoever I see first, they will have to stay. So next day morning, everybody disappeared. Nobody was coming forward to serve. And finally, by noontime, they decided somebody has to stay. And they finally reconciled and one devotee was chosen. So sometimes the instructions may be difficult. Instruction may be difficult, but we have to try to follow. And so he says that with that great fear, I approached that I have to follow in the footsteps of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur and write the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. How is it possible? Yes, unlimited seva has been done by the previous generation. But because Krishna is unlimited, unlimited seva is available for this generation. And because Krishna is unlimited, unlimited seva will be available for future generation. So we should never think what else remains now. So therefore, he goes and prays to Lord Madan Mohan. At that point, the garland of Madan Mohan falls and the pujari brings it and places it on Kaviraj Goswami. Agyamala paya amar hoila ananda tahai karimu ei granthera arambha. Having received this, I started writing this grantha with the order of Madan Mohan. Ei grantha lekhaye more Madana Mohan amar lekhanayena shukera pathan. This Chaitanya Charitamrita is not written by me. It is Madan Mohan who is writing this. I am simply repeating like a parrot. And therefore, say likhi Madana Gopal ye likhaye Kashthera puttaliyena kuhake nachai. Just as a puppeteer makes a puppet dance, Shri Madan Mohan Dev is making me dance, engaging me in this service. Thoughts are flooding into my mind. Words are coming through my hands. And everything is just manifesting. I am simply a wooden doll dancing. Kuladhi devata more Madana Mohan jar sevak Raghunath Rupa Sanatan. And therefore, my Kula Devata is Madan Mohan. And by serving Madan Mohan, by following the instructions of Rupa and Sanatan, I am able to perform this seva. And therefore, we should never think I am capable of doing this seva. We are simply instruments in the hands of their lordships and the previous acharyas. Murkhani chakshudra moye bishaya lalas Vaishnavagya bole kore eteka sahas. I am foolish, I am fallen, I am insignificant, I am sense gratifier. And somebody may say, why you are writing CC then? I am following Vaishnav instruction. Vaishnavagya bole, on the power and the strength of the instructions of the Vaishnavas, I am having these guts. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Charaner Ebal Jar Smrite Siddha Hoy Vanchita Sakal. It is only by the grace, the divine grace of Sri Rup and Raghunath, and the dust of the lotus feet and the potency of that dust, I am able to do anything. I am insignificant, but the grace emanating from the dust of the lotus feet of the Goswamis is all potent and all powerful. Jara Smrite, and I have full access to any of the predecessor acharyas depending on the intensity of my absorption. And therefore, Krishna consciousness means three things: intensity in sadhana, consistency in seva, and sensitivity towards the sevaks. When we have intensity in our sadhana, consistency in our seva, and sensitivity towards our sevaks, then Krishna is pleased and we make tangible spiritual advancement, and the fulfillment of desires in seva manifests. So I remember when we were in the Govardhan village, at some point Radhanath Swami told us that apart from Goshala we should also bring other animals. And I was not at all very excited about this idea, because we thought Goshala is the most important. He said, yeah, Goshala is important, but maybe we should have, goats and donkeys and all this also. So I said, donkeys? So anyway, I didn't comment. And our style is not to say no on the face. So he would say, we should get donkeys. And I would say, yes, yes, yes. And then next time he would say, where are the donkeys? I said, coming soon. And so a few months passed by. And then he was in America. I called him to give some updates on construction. And he said, construction update later. First question, when are the donkeys coming? And I said, my God, why is he so obsessed with the donkeys? And I said, we are still doing some research, Maharaj. He said, hey, I know you don't consider them to be socially respectable. That's why you are avoiding. I know. I request you to switch off your IIT brain and have blind faith and get the donkeys. There is a purpose. I can't tell everything now, but people who will come from the West will be inspired. I know you don't get it, but you go ahead even though you don't get it. So I went back and told some brahmachari, go and get the donkeys. He had done all the R&D already, where to get the donkeys from. So the donkeys came, and then after a couple of months, Maharaj came, and when he came to the eco village, I was taking him to the construction site. He said, no, first donkeys. And we went near the donkeys. So the first thing he said, oh, we have these donkeys for last 2 months. We have not yet named them. And then he started naming them. Kamala, Ambuja. And I was thinking, devotees are not getting initiation. That's getting delayed like anything. The donkeys are really so fortunate. So anyway, then, we started going towards the donkeys ran away. He turned to me and said, "Why are the donkeys running away?" I was thinking, how do I know? Am I a donkey? I cannot know why they are running away. He said, the reason they are running away is wherever they were kept before, they were mistreated. So therefore, they are afraid of human beings, they are running away. We need to counteract that by giving them lot of affection. I said, how do we do that? He said, we'll massage them. I was like thinking, my God, who am I? Why do bad things happen to good people? And I said, who will massage them, Maharaj? And Maharaj said, you. But then we got somebody from the local village. They really took good care. And after a few months, one of the biggest yoga groups from America, they came, the main leader of that yoga group, to do a recce, to see which are the properties in India where they can bring their group to India every year. So they came to Eco Village also. We showed them around and all the places they saw. And finally, I brought them to this place where the donkeys were kept. We call it Gadha Shala. So this lady looked at the donkeys and asked me, what do these donkeys do? I said, nothing. She said, nothing? I said, yeah, they just enjoy. They roam around freely. We feed them, massage them. They relax. She looked at me and was surprised, looked at the donkeys. They looked happy. They came near her and she was massaging them and she liked them. And there was her another business partner. And they went a little on the side, started discussing privately something, came back and said, in our, yoga school, one of the most critical principles is animal care. And the way you are taking care of donkeys has convinced us that the best place to bring our yoga group every year is Govardhan Eco Village. I looked at the donkeys and saluted them. That I didn't know their marketing genius. And that group is still coming for the last 12 years consistently without a break. Only during COVID there was a break, but all through. So therefore, sometimes we may or may not understand everything. Certain things may defy logic. But when we continue trying to serve sincerely, then Krishna creates magic. And that's what Kaviraj Goswami is saying. My life is an example of such magic. This work, Chaitanya Charitamrita, is an example of such magic. It has manifested in my ripe old age by the grace of Lord. Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan and he was driving from Fogla Ashram towards Krishna Balram temple construction site. This was 1970s, before the temple was opened. Some devotees went ahead of Srila Prabhupada and one Brajavasi sweet shop owner stopped them and gave them sweets and said, hey, today I feel like feeding the devotees first in the morning. That offer doesn't require too much of invitation. So they stood and started eating right on the roadside. And suddenly Prabhupada's car passed by. And they looked at Prabhupada's car and they tried to hide what they were eating. But they were having gulab jamun on one side, rasgulla, sandesh, barfi, all in their hands. And they were hoping Prabhupada's car would pass. Prabhupada's car passed by, went ahead, stopped and turned back. And stopped right in front of where the devotees were. And they were caught red-handed with all sweets in their hand and mouth and everything. Prabhupada turned the window down, looked at all the devotees. And they were smiling at him, thinking, now what will come now? Prabhupada will chastise us Prabhupada looked at them and smiled radiantly. And Prabhupada said, Bengali sweets essential for life. Devotees were blissful that, oh, Prabhupada didn't chastise us. 2 years later, Prabhupada was at a university program in California, and he came out after the event, and there was the Mahaprasad table and a book table. And one devotee who was in that group, he took one sandesh and showed it to Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, Bengali sweets, essential for life. Prabhupada picked up Chaitanya Charitamrita and said, this is the real Bengali sweet. And so the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita was written by Srila Prabhupada in the 1972 to 74 period. And it was published within 2 months in a marathon by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada in California. And therefore, although Chaitanya Charitamrita was written in Bengal, it became manifest to all of us, including us Indians who had never heard of Lord Chaitanya before coming to Krishna consciousness and connecting with Prabhupada's mission. It became manifest from Los Angeles. And therefore, we are extremely eternally grateful to all those disciples of Srila Prabhupada who assisted His divine grace in such amazingly powerful ways, giving their life and soul to follow His instructions, to assist Him in spreading the mission, in publishing His books, in establishing ISKCON globally, and starting ISKCON in India. Srila Prabhupada rented apartment, churches or different places in different countries. But it was in India that Srila Prabhupada gave instruction to all the disciples to send the Lakshmi from the book sales for acquiring property in Mayapur, in Vrindavan and Mumbai. And the American disciples never questioned, why are we sending money to India? If the books are being sold here, why are we supporting India? They were completely in alignment with Srila Prabhupada's desire. And if in those days that book distribution and book sale had not happened, and Srila Prabhupada had not specifically invested human resource and financial resource from across the globe in India, ISKCON in India would never have had a chance to start. And therefore today, I speak as one of the leaders from ISKCON in India, where I see hundreds and hundreds of temples manifesting every single year. Just one new temple we opened in March in Thane, over 1 acre. And from March to September, we had a footfall of 1.5 million people. And we have youth in colleges doing in all our college programs across India under ISKCON India Youth Council. We have 10,000 students in college campuses in India chanting 16 rounds. But as I sit here, I feel the weight of gratitude towards all those disciples of Srila Prabhupada who in their 70s made sacrifices to come to establish Krishna consciousness in India. We may be prospering like anything today, but we can never forget the sacrifices and the contributions made by those when there was nothing. And the only reason they did that was because Srila Prabhupada instructed them to do so. And they were completely aligned with Srila Prabhupada's will. So I'm very grateful to Narsingha Rupa Prabhu, our temple president here, Nityanand Prabhu, whom I just met, and all the devotees here in Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji's beautiful mandir, beautiful altar, beautiful design of the temple, beautiful pillars with nice lion motifs, very unique design, and all the congregation who are part of the family of Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji, spreading Krishna consciousness, spreading positivity, spreading hope amongst the very, very difficult situation which people are going through in this age of Kali. I pray at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji to bestow their unlimited mercy and grace and empowerment upon each one of you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.